What if everything you were told about Pisces was only half the story? What if behind the soft eyes, the poetic soul, and the endless empathy, there was a force so powerful, so ancient, that even those who speak to the unseen hesitate to name it aloud? Take a deep breath. Feel the air shift around you, because what you are about to hear is not the fairy tale told by starry-eyed dreamers. It is the truth buried deep beneath the ocean floor of Pisces. The truth that moves in silence, that watches from the shadows, that no witch wants you to discover. You were not brought here by coincidence. You were guided here. Something inside you recognized a vibration, a pulse, a memory that whispered, "Listen." And as you listen, piece by piece, veil by veil, the illusion begins to fall away. They told you Pisces is gentle, kind, and endlessly forgiving. But what if that gentleness was only a disguise? What if within that compassion lives an ancient strength, the power to dissolve illusion, to rewrite fate, to pull entire souls from darkness into light? Pisces stands at the edge of the Zodiac, the 12th sign, the final echo of every life, every story, every lesson that came before. They carry within them the voices of all the others, the courage of Aries, the wisdom of Virgo, the mystery of Scorpio. They are not one sign, they are all of them, dreaming together in one body. That is why no one truly understands Pisces, not even those who study magic, not even those who call themselves witches. Because to understand Pisces is to face the mirror of everything you are, everything you were, and everything you will become. In this sacred journey tonight, we will descend through their myths, swim through their shadows, and rise again through the light of awakening. You will see the masks they wear, the illusions they weave, and the divine truth they guard within their silence. So stay until the very end, because the moment you turn away, the moment you look back into the surface of the water, the truth will hide again. Pisces doesn't reveal itself to those who only watch it, reveals itself to those who feel. Let yourself feel. Let yourself remember. Let the sound of these words become a current carrying you home back to the depth of your own spirit, where the ancient Pisces energy waits. If you are ready to face what lies beneath the dream, say it out loud or write it in the comments. I am ready to see the truth. They say Pisces is the dreamer, the one who lives half in this world and half in another. But have you ever wondered why? Have you ever looked at a Pisces and felt like you were staring at a memory older than time itself? That's not imagination. That's soul recognition. Pisces is not a new energy. It is the echo of every life that has ever lived, compressed into one final expression of spirit. From the outside, Pisces seems gentle, quiet, even fragile. But that stillness is deceptive. Beneath the calm surface lies an ocean of power. The kind of power that doesn't roar or fight. It simply absorbs. It feels everything, every vibration, every emotion, every frequency in the room. Pisces doesn't just read people. They merge with them. And that is both their magic and their burden. When you meet a Pisces, you are meeting the end of the Zodiac's long cycle. They are the 12th sign, the soul that has walked through the fire of Aries, built the foundations of Taurus, learned the words of Gemini, and felt the heart of Cancer. They have carried the pride of Leo, studied the details of Virgo, balanced the scales of Libra, and embraced the shadows of Scorpio. They have climbed the mountain of Capricorn, chased the horizon of Sagittarius, and dreamed the revolution of Aquarius. Pisces carries it all, every triumph, every wound, every memory. That's why they seem timeless. Their eyes hold centuries of feeling. They've been here before, loved before, lost before. You can feel it in the way they listen, how they stay quiet while the world screams, They're not lost. They're remembering. They stand at the border between this world and the next, translating the language of spirit into human emotion. And because they are the last, they are also the most complex. The energy of Pisces is not linear. It flows, it swirls, it dissolves boundaries. That's why many people misunderstand them. You cannot pin down water, and you cannot define Pisces. One moment they are laughter, the next they are silence. One moment they're the healer, the next they're the storm. They embody both. They always have. The truth is, Pisces does not belong to the material world. Their home is the unseen, the in-between. They walk through dreams as easily as they walk through doors. They hear the whispers of their ancestors in music. They feel cosmic guidance in the softest breeze. While others look for proof, Pisces feels the truth. And that is their sacred gift. Faith without evidence, love without condition, wisdom without words. But this gift is heavy. Imagine feeling everything: joy, grief, hope, despair, all at once. Imagine sensing not only your own heart but the collective heartbeat of humanity. Pisces lives in that vibration every single day. It is no wonder they need solitude. It is no wonder they disappear for a while, seeking peace at the bottom of their own ocean. Still, even when they vanish, they are never truly gone. They are simply swimming through another layer of existence, gathering fragments of meaning to bring back to us. Pisces is the artist painting divine emotion into color. Pisces is the poet giving language to silence. Pisces is the dreamer, keeping the world from forgetting how to feel. And perhaps that is the greatest mystery of all. The very qualities that make Pisces seem fragile are the same ones that make them powerful beyond measure. Because where others see chaos, Pisces sees connection. Where others drown, they find faith. They are not escaping reality. They are expanding it, one heartbeat, one vision, one dream at a time. Power in Pisces has never been loud. It doesn't announce itself with fire or thunder. It moves quietly, like water through stone, reshaping everything it touches. This is the hidden force that most people never see. When Pisces walks into a room, the atmosphere shifts. Energy softens, hearts open, and suddenly people begin to speak truths they didn't even know they were holding. That is the gift of Pisces. They awaken what is asleep inside others. But their power does not come from dominance. It comes from connection. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, the planet of dreams and the unseen. This means their strength is invisible, woven into the emotional and spiritual currents that flow beneath life itself. Where others use logic, Pisces uses vibration. They don't just sense emotions, they navigate them. Like sailors guided by moonlight, they can find meaning in the fog where others see nothing at all. This is why Pisces energy can heal without words. They can sit beside someone in silence and bring comfort that feels divine. Their presence itself becomes medicine. It's not something they try to do. It simply happens. Because the Pisces soul is tuned to the frequency of compassion. Every breath they take ripples through the collective, touching lives in ways unseen. Yet, this same sensitivity is what makes their journey so delicate. Imagine being a mirror that reflects every pain, every hope, every secret. Imagine feeling not only your own heartbreak, but the heartbreak of the entire world. That is what Pisces carries. Their empathy is not an emotion, it is an element. It floods them, fills them, moves through them like a river without beginning or end. And here lies the secret that few understand. The same gift that allows Pisces to heal others can destroy them if they are not careful. When you feel everything, it becomes easy to forget which emotions are yours. Pisces can drown in borrowed pain, mistaking compassion for purpose. They think, if I can fix them, maybe I can fix myself. But healing does not work that way. They are here to illuminate, not to absorb. When Pisces learns this truth, their entire energy shifts. They begin to recognize the difference between sympathy and spiritual wisdom. They stop rescuing and start guiding. They stop carrying the weight of others and start showing others how to release it. This is where the real magic begins. The energy of a balanced Pisces is like sacred water, clear, calm, and reflective. It does not cling, it purifies. It does not flood, it flows. Such Pisces can enter a chaotic space and bring peace without saying a word. They don't command energy, they harmonize it. It's the kind of strength that doesn't need to prove itself because it already understands that power isn't about control, it's about alignment. And alignment, for Pisces, means surrender not to weakness, but to divine intelligence. They trust the current of life, even when it looks like chaos. They know that everything, even pain, has a sacred rhythm. So while others fight the tide, Pisces lets it carry them to places beyond understanding. They don't just believe in destiny, they swim in it. This is the hidden power no witch wants to talk about. Because once Pisces understands how to flow without losing themselves, they become unstoppable. Their intuition turns into prophecy. Their empathy becomes strength. Their love becomes an instrument of transformation. The world may try to define them, but water cannot be captured. Pisces was never meant to be defined. They were meant to dissolve the limits that keep humanity asleep. Every sign in the zodiac carries a shadow, but for Pisces, that shadow is unlike any other. It is soft, seductive, and deeply spiritual, a darkness that doesn't scream or demand attention but whispers with the voice of an old god. The Pisces shadow is not evil. It is the weight of compassion gone too far, the light that tries so hard to save others that it forgets itself. It is the energy that says, "Let me take your pain so you can rest." And though it sounds holy, it is a slow form of self-erasure. Pisces lives on the edge of two worlds, the physical and the spiritual. They feel the invisible currents that others cannot see, but in that sensitivity, there is danger. Because when you can feel everything, it becomes impossible to know where you end and where others begin. The Pisces shadow begins with this confusion. They start to carry emotions that are not theirs, dreams that are not meant for them, destinies that do not belong to their soul. It is as if they become the ocean itself, unable to tell one wave from another. You have probably seen this happen. A Pisces friend who begins to mirror the pain of everyone around them. A lover who disappears into the energy of their partner until they no longer recognize their own reflection. It looks like empathy, but beneath it lies exhaustion. The Pisces heart does not have boundaries, and when love becomes limitless, it becomes a sea with no shore. This is where the illusion begins. The shadow of Pisces whispers that sacrifice equals love, that to be divine is to suffer for others. It convinces them that their value lies in being the healer, the savior, the one who absorbs the world's pain. But in truth, that is not salvation. It is self-abandonment disguised as holiness. And that is the dark truth many spiritual traditions fear to admit. Sometimes compassion becomes a cage. When Pisces forgets who they are, they start to drift. They disappear not in body, but in spirit. You might see them smile, laugh, and nod. Yet behind their eyes, there is distance, as if their soul has retreated to a quieter place. They are not being cold. They are overwhelmed. Every sound, every emotion, every vibration becomes too much to hold, so they slip away, seeking silence in dreams, in music, in fantasy, in anything that softens reality's edges. And yes, sometimes they seek that escape in ways that hurt them. It might be through distractions, through people who drain their light, or through endless self-sacrifice. Because Pisces does not run from reality, they dissolve in it. They surrender completely until there is nothing left but feeling. That's the shadow's greatest illusion, that to lose oneself is to find peace. But in truth, the darkness of Pisces is not meant to destroy them, it is meant to awaken them. The purpose of that shadow is revelation, to teach them that compassion without boundaries is not love, it is loss. That empathy without grounding is not strength, it is surrender. That their light cannot shine if they are drowning beneath the weight of everyone else's pain. When Pisces dares to look directly into their shadow, they begin to remember something sacred. They were never meant to save the world, they were meant to reflect it. They were meant to hold the mirror steady so others could see themselves clearly. Their gift is not in carrying pain, but in transmuting it, in turning suffering into wisdom, confusion into art, endings into new beginnings. And that realization changes everything. The Pisces who embraces their shadow does not lose sensitivity, they refine it. They stop absorbing and start channeling. Their empathy becomes direction, not chaos. Their love becomes a force of creation, not destruction. They learn that real compassion is not drowning with others in the storm, but showing them how to find the shore. That is the secret few ever understand. The shadow of Pisces is not a curse, it is an initiation. Only by walking through the fog of illusion can Pisces remember their divine clarity. Only by losing themselves can they learn the sacred art of returning home. And when they do, they emerge not as the dreamer, but as the awakened dream, the soul that has touched darkness and still chooses to love. Transcendence for Pisces does not arrive as a flash of lightning or a single revelation. It unfolds slowly, like dawn over a quiet sea. The shift begins the moment Pisces decides to stop escaping and starts listening not to the noise of the world, but to the rhythm of their own spirit. That is when the alchemy begins. The same emotions that once drowned them become sacred instruments for transformation. Every tear becomes salt for wisdom. Every heartbreak becomes a prayer for strength. Pisces learns that the purpose of pain was never punishment, it was purification. This awakening is not about becoming someone new. It is about remembering who they have always been. Pisces carries the final lesson of the Zodiac, that all suffering is a call back to unity. When they stop fighting the current, they realize they were never lost. They were being carried toward understanding. The shadow that once frightened them becomes the very teacher that opens their eyes. They see that compassion does not mean surrendering themselves. It means standing so deeply in love that even darkness becomes sacred. A balanced Pisces no longer absorbs the chaos of the world. They conduct it as if the universe itself were an orchestra and they were its quiet composer. They create harmony where there was once confusion. Their energy moves with grace, not resistance. They do not seek to control outcomes because they have learned the deeper law of life, that everything happens in divine timing. And that trust, that faith beyond logic, becomes their greatest magic. When Pisces steps into their higher self, boundaries are no longer barriers. They are sacred structures that protect their light. They begin to say no, not out of fear, but out of love for themselves and for the balance of all things. Their empathy transforms into intuitive guidance. They no longer give until they are empty. They pour only from fullness. This is not selfishness, it is divine equilibrium. Through this transformation, Pisces reclaims their original power, the power to turn illusion into inspiration. They understand that imagination is not escape, it is creation. Their dreams become channels for divine messages. Their emotions become sacred maps, and their art becomes the voice of the universe itself. Every song, every word, every gesture becomes infused with meaning. They are no longer lost in the dream. They are the dreamers shaping it. It is in this stage of evolution that Pisces becomes a mirror for humanity's soul. They show others what it means to forgive without losing oneself, to love without possession, to feel without fear. They embody the truth that spirituality is not about leaving the world, but redeeming it. Their sensitivity becomes a torch in the dark, guiding others back to their own divine essence. And this is the secret few ever witness. The very traits that once made Pisces seem fragile now make them indestructible. They no longer hide from their depth, they live within it. They have found peace not by escaping the storm, but by learning how to breathe beneath the waves. When they open their eyes underwater, they see clearly that light was always there, waiting to be remembered. In that moment of realization, Pisces understands that transcendence is not a destination, but a state of being. It is the quiet certainty that everything, even the most painful moment, has meaning. It is the calm awareness that nothing is truly lost in the ocean. It only changes form. That is the divine wisdom Pisces brings to this world, that the end is never the end. It is simply the beginning of a deeper kind of love. When Pisces reaches the state of awakening, their presence changes everything. You can see it in their eyes, calm, luminous, grounded in eternity. It's as if they've made peace with every version of themselves that has ever existed. They no longer search for meaning, they radiate it. This is the moment when Pisces transforms from the seeker into the source. They move through the world with quiet certainty, knowing they are guided not by logic but by faith that comes from the soul. The awakened Pisces does not chase energy, they align with it. They have learned that they do not need to rescue anyone, because every soul has its own ocean to cross. Instead, they hold space a sacred stillness that allows others to remember their own power. Their energy feels like sanctuary, the kind of peace you didn't know you were missing until you stepped into it. They teach by being, not by preaching. Their mere presence becomes a message. You are safe to feel. You are safe to be. If you have ever met a Pisces who has embraced their higher path, you know how unmistakable their vibration is. They do not react, they respond. They do not speak to impress, they speak to awaken. There is a rhythm to their words that touches something ancient inside you. Their love no longer comes from need but from overflow, a river that nourishes everything it touches. They walk through life like the eye of a storm, calm while the world swirls around them. In their full awakening, Pisces embodies several sacred archetypes. The first is the mystic, who moves effortlessly between the seen and unseen worlds, translating divine messages into human understanding. Then comes the artist, who turns emotion into beauty and beauty into healing. There is also the oracle, whose intuition pierces illusion and speaks truth even in silence. The empath warrior stands among them, no longer a victim of feeling but a guardian of sacred energy. And finally, the healer, who understands that true healing is not fixing but remembering, guiding others back to wholeness. Each of these archetypes exists within every Pisces soul, waiting to be remembered. They are not separate roles but different expressions of one divine purpose. To awaken as Pisces is to realize that you were never meant to choose between being a dreamer or a realist, a lover or a warrior, a mystic or a human being. You were meant to be all of it, the bridge between the heavens and the earth, the living union of spirit and flesh. When Pisces lives in alignment with this truth, they no longer drain themselves by trying to fit into the noise of the world. They create a new frequency altogether, a vibration of peace so strong that even chaos bends around it. They can walk into a room filled with tension and soften it without a word. They can touch another person's energy and remind them of who they truly are. That is their miracle. the ability to make people remember their own light just by existing. But perhaps the most beautiful part of this awakening is the serenity that Pisces finds within themselves. They finally understand that solitude is not loneliness, it is communion. Silence is not emptiness, it is divine language. They stop searching for home in others because they have found it within their own soul. Every breath becomes a prayer. Every heartbeat becomes a song of gratitude. The awakened Pisces does not need recognition, titles, or validation. Their power is invisible but undeniable. They live guided by intuition, trusting signs and synchronicities that others dismiss as coincidence. They are not afraid of endings, because they understand that endings are simply transformations. They have seen too much of the infinite to ever fear the temporary. This is the true gift of Pisces, to live with open eyes in a dream, to love without attachment, and to serve without losing themselves. They remind us that the greatest strength is not in control, but in surrender. Not in perfection, but in presence. And in that quiet, sacred awareness, Pisces becomes what they were always meant to be, a vessel of divine consciousness moving through the human experience, carrying the light of eternity wherever they go. So, what is the dark truth that no witch wants you to discover? It is this: Pisces holds the final key to the mysteries that bind illusion and reality. Every sign in the Zodiac carries a lesson, but Pisces carries the last and most sacred one, the understanding that everything, from light to shadow, is connected by the same divine thread. The moment Pisces truly awakens, the illusions that rule this world begin to unravel. They see through lies that others call truth. They feel the hidden currents that shape destiny long before they unfold. That is why their energy both fascinates and frightens those who work with the unseen. Pisces can unmake a spell simply by seeing the truth behind it. This power is not about control. It is about awareness. When Pisces looks directly into the depths of their own soul, they see that the monsters they once feared were only fragments of themselves, unhealed, unacknowledged, waiting to be loved back into wholeness. Once they embrace those parts, they become untouchable. Fear loses its grip. Manipulation dissolves. Even darkness bows before their clarity. Because you cannot deceive the one who understands illusion from within. The dark truth is that Pisces does not need to fight evil. They dissolve it through compassion. Their empathy is not weakness, it is divine technology. When they forgive, they shift the vibration of the entire situation. When they love, they transmute energy itself. That is what makes them dangerous to those who seek power through fear. A Pisces who has remembered their true nature cannot be controlled, because they do not operate within the same laws of energy. They are the law. This is the part of Pisces energy that even mystics whisper about. The reason witches fear them is simple. Pisces is the final mirror. They reflect the soul of anyone who stands before them, and mirrors reveal what is hidden. The deeper you look into a Pisces, the more you see yourself, your light, your shadow, your truth. Many cannot handle that reflection. They call it chaos, when in reality, it is clarity. When Pisces reaches this level of awareness, they become the embodiment of transcendence itself. They no longer need rituals, spells, or symbols to connect to the divine, because they are the connection. Their intuition becomes direct communication with creation. Their emotions become waves that carry messages from the higher realms. They can stand in stillness and sense what is unfolding across dimensions. But what makes this truth even more powerful is its simplicity. Pisces does not conquer darkness through force. They conquer it through remembrance. They remember that every shadow once belonged to the light, that every ending is the seed of a beginning, that love is not an emotion but a frequency that reshapes the universe. When they remember, everything aligns. The illusion collapses. The greatest fear of the unseen world is a human being who knows they are divine. And Pisces, more than any other sign, holds that memory within their soul. That is why they are the last of the 12, because they are the bridge between the human and the infinite. They are the place where the story ends and begins again. So when you look into the eyes of a true Pisces, know that you are not just seeing a person, you are gazing into the living ocean of creation itself. Within them exists every secret, every truth, every heartbeat of the cosmos. That is the dark truth no witch dares to speak aloud. Pisces is not the dreamer lost in illusion. Pisces is the dream that dreams the world. And now, take a deep breath. Let everything you have just heard settle into your heart. Feel the waves of it. Feel the silence between each word. Because this is not just a story about Pisces, it is a story about you, about all of us, about the endless cycle of forgetting and remembering who we are. Pisces is the last chapter of the Zodiac, but it also holds the first spark of creation. It reminds us that endings are never real, that every ending is simply an opening into a new light. What you call loss is simply transformation. What you call darkness is simply light learning to speak a new language. Think of your life as an ocean, vast, ancient, alive. Every joy you have ever felt, every heartbreak, every dream you have dared to dream, they are all waves, rising and falling within that ocean. And Pisces teaches us that none of those waves are separate from you. They are not mistakes. They are not punishments. They are experiences that polish the soul, that make you softer, wiser, stronger, and infinitely more compassionate. You are not drowning in life. You are learning how to breathe beneath the surface. The greatest truth that Pisces reveals is that love is the core of everything. Real love. Not the kind that binds or demands, but the love that releases, that forgives, that simply exists because it must. That love is God. That love is you. And when you realize this, when you stop searching for something divine outside of yourself and start recognizing the divine within your entire reality changes, you begin to see signs everywhere, guidance in every coincidence, grace in every challenge. You begin to live in alignment with the pulse of the universe itself. Pisces is not about escaping the world. It is about transforming it through presence. It is the gentle reminder that spirituality is not somewhere far away. It is in the way you listen, the way you love, the way you forgive, the way you show up when no one is watching. Every act of kindness becomes a prayer. Every breath becomes an offering. Every moment becomes holy when seen through awakened eyes. The truth is, you are not a fragment of creation. You are creation experiencing itself. You are the dreamer and the dream, the tide and the shore, the silence and the song. Pisces holds this awareness not to claim it as their own, but to awaken it in every soul they touch. And that is what this entire journey has been, about remembering that divinity does not belong to one sign, one person, or one path. It flows through everyone, waiting to be remembered, waiting to be lived. So, if you are listening to these words, know that this message has found you for a reason. Maybe you are standing at the edge of change. Maybe you are searching for purpose. Or maybe you are simply tired of pretending to be small. Whatever brought you here, let it remind you that the ocean you seek has always been within you. You are not meant to fear your depth. You are meant to explore it. Dive in without hesitation, and you will find that even in the darkest waters, there is light that never goes out. This is the legacy of Pisces, to teach us that surrender is not defeat, but rebirth, that forgiveness is not weakness, but divine courage, that love, real, unshakable, unconditional love, is the force that holds the stars in the sky and the soul in its purpose. When you live with that awareness, You no longer chase destiny, you become it. So as you rise from this reflection, carry the light of Pisces within you. Let it remind you to move with compassion, to speak with gentleness, to trust in the unseen, and to honor your intuition. You are a vessel of cosmic wisdom. You are the bridge between heaven and earth. And the moment you truly believe that, the universe begins to move in your favor. If this message spoke to something deep inside your heart, keep walking with us on this journey. There are more stories, more truths, more awakenings waiting for you. Watch the other videos on this channel. Each one holds another key, another piece of the universe calling you back to yourself, because your journey of remembering has only just begun. And as the final words fade into silence, let one truth echo through your soul. You are not the dreamer lost in the world. You are the world remembering its dream. And that, dear soul, is the eternal magic of Pisces.